media. And you know what? You can meet nice people on social media. Don't forget that, guys. I've met Vicky and Joe, two wonderful Leeds fans. I think we've known each other for almost half a year now. It's crazy how much time flies, right? Yeah. And it's like Leeds haven't started the season off well. Arsenal, after losing 3 games at the beginning of the season, we came roaring back and we're getting better as we go. And you know what? This season is going to be an interesting one. But before we get into the video, guys, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and Joe's link to his channel is there. I'm going to be there at 8 o'clock for, if you guys don't already know, the review version of Below the Whistle Blows. Or how does it go?
This one we call the final whistle.
The final whistle. There you go. Anyways, guys, you already know. Let's get started. Bye. Joe, I see you dancing there. I always kind of do that little dance whenever that music's on. Yeah, big up to everyone in the comment section. Do me a favor, guys. Smash that like button as you guys roll through. I can see more and more of you guys coming in. As you guys come in, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section if you like. That really helps. But let's get started with the Leeds versus Arsenal game, right? Now, before we get anything into this Carabao Cup game, tell us a little bit about your season and how you guys feel as Leeds fans. So I'll start with you, Joe.
A lot more positive after the weekend, mate. I can't lie. A lot more positive. It's not been the best start to the season, but I'm not concerned. Although if you'd have asked me after Southampton, I probably would have said I was concerned. So it's mad how quick things can change in football. You know that yourself, mate. But I'm a lot more positive now. We have got. Do you know what it is? We need to get some points on the board though, because I think November, December, we've got some really, really tough fixtures, and what I don't want is us to be in and around it come January, because that's a naughty place to be at that time of the year. But I'm all right at the minute after a good point against Wolves. But you know, ask me again on the weekend after Norwich, mate. If we can't beat Norwich, then I might have to hold my hands up, mate. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Just let me shout out to Tim and Eman in the chat. Big up to Tim, regular on I think both our channels, Joe. Am I right?
Yeah,
Tim is a big Leeds fan. Shout out to Tim. Eman in the house. How are you? I'm good. How about yourselves? And Vicky, I'm gonna throw it over to you. How are you feeling about? And Harry's just joined us. Big up to Harry, Arsenal fan, resident Arsenal fan here. But
hey,
Vicky, how are you feeling about the Leeds so far this season?
I think we've had a really tough start, and it doesn't help that we've had a lot of injuries. I mean, we've had 4 or 5 first-team players out injured. You know, Raphinha played against Southampton because he was on international duty. And when it's Bamford and, you know, everybody, Kalvin especially, once we've got Kalvin out, we have to shift half of our squad around, and they're not in the natural positions, which causes a lot of problems for us. So we have got quite a tight squad. We could do with a few more signings, if I'm honest, especially midfield. After the Southampton game, I was a bit worried, but with everything that went on against Wolves, I'm kind of getting my confidence back. You know, especially with Gelhardt and the babies of the squad, they're really stepping up, and we didn't think they would. But we've got a great academy, and we just have to hope for the best now that the first team players are slowly coming back in. But I'm not worried.
There you go. And Harry, how are you feeling after the rough start that we had? We seem to just be getting points on the board now and ticking over. I'm a little bit happier with the situation now, of course. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. There's been a few bumps since the Man City result in terms of performances. Norwich and Burnley wasn't an amazing performance, but good results. Picked up a few good wins. Obviously disappointing last week against Palace, but a real good win on Friday night against a decent Aston Villa side. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel like we're slowly getting to where we need to be. I'm sure there'll be a few more bumps. You know, Leicester away on the weekend's a really, really tough game. A game that I'll probably take a point in already. So yeah, I mean, it's a long season ahead, 9 games in, but the signs are slowly improving after a really, really shit start.
There you go. Now, I see a comment here. The first comment coming in talking about Charlie Patino. If you guys don't know about Charlie Patino, Vic and Joe, I'll tell you, he's an academy youngster who's highly touted. They're saying he could be the next Jack Wilshere. They're saying he's the most talented player since Cesc Fabregas in our academy.
What, injured and broken? Injured and broken?
No. They're saying he, talent-wise, he's the
I'm
best
joking,
talent
man,
since Jack Wilshere and Fabregas.
Fair.
That's a big shout.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Shout,
I don't know. I don't know if this is just how they gas up players all the time, but what I did get, guys, is I want to show you guys the predicted lineups from the experts on whoscored.com for both our teams. They did a predicted lineup. And Joe, I know we both did our lineups, but I just want to know how close and similar do you think these lineups will be to the actual lineups that we're going to see come tomorrow? Right, so I'm gonna get this on the screen just so you guys can see it. Let's get it there. So as you guys can see in goal on both goals, no, this way is better. You can see in both goals we have Leno, and you have your starting goalkeeper there. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Meslier, yeah.
Meslier is your starting goalkeeper. It looks like we've gone with replacements. Three of the four back four have been changed from our last game, with Pablo Mari holding and Socrates with Tavares keeping his place. We've taken out Lokonga and Partey and put in Ainsley Maitland-Niles and El Neni. We've also taken out Xhaka, Smith-Rowe, and Lacazette, and played Odegaard, Martinelli, and Pepe, apparently, and Aubameyang. I personally don't think I agree with this lineup. I think there's too many first-team players actually in this team. Yeah. I would actually take Aubameyang out and replace him maybe with Lacazette, in my opinion, and maybe Tavares out for a player who hasn't gotten much game time. Harry, what about yourself? And then we'll go to the lead side of things.
Yeah, I agree with the Aubameyang role. I think it will probably be Nketiah. I think if Kieran Tierney is coming back to fitness, then he might start Tavares again and then Tierney on the weekend against Leicester. I'd personally like to see Chambers in there ahead of Suarez. But otherwise, that looks about right for me. But apart from, Aubameyang for Nketiah, and I would do Chambers for Suarez. But otherwise, it looks like a decent team. I think we need to rotate every single player, to be honest. I think we've got quite a big squad with hardly any games to play, or hardly any additional games this season. No European football, so a lot of our squad players have got 3 or 4 less appearances than what they would typically have, because the likes of Rob Holding and Mari are only playing in the Carabao Cup as opposed to the Cup and Europa League. So there's a lot of players in there who need minutes, and to keep the squad harmony going, you need to try to give all players as many minutes as possible. And the truth is, this is the only games that they can kind of realistically play. So, I would fully rotate the whole 11.
Okay, and I'll start with you, Vic, because I started with Joe last time. Yeah. What do you think about this Leeds lineup? Do you think this is very...
I think it's okay. I think I would rest Click and maybe put Gelhardt in his position, put Harrison in where James is. James in Somerville's position. I mean, Rodrigo's definitely not going to play, because if he's injured and Bamford's not back for a couple of weeks, that's going to be an issue, isn't it? What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think he might go with Rodrigo. Look, I'm speaking from my own personal preference, because I want a bit. I think we need continuity. I think the way this swings in our favour, and our record against Arsenal, shocking. But
in it,
Arsenal are going to ring the changes. I look at the back four. I think that's decent. We can get at that, and I think. Yeah, I think Leeds United at the minute can't afford to not continue to be decent in games. I think if we get a point against Wolves, we then put a weakened side out against you and get pumped. Then on Saturday, Norwich is difficult again. So I think we need to keep that upward trajectory. And I think you will see Geldart, you will see Somerville, you will see Creswell. But I think the rest of it will be first teamers, in my opinion. I think Rodrigo might lead the line. I think, Click, although I'm with you, Vic, I think Click needs a rest. I'll probably take him out. And maybe have Robertson and Geldart in there behind Rodrigo. They can all interchange, to be fair.
I do think Rodrigo with Gelhardt behind him in Clicky's place would be the perfect match. Yeah. Because it's just how when he came on, then 28 minutes, he did more than practically everybody on that pitch.
So
he was absolutely outstanding. So I would definitely start him. Somerville maybe come on in around the 70th minute, see how he can get on. But other than that setup looks pretty decent.
my question is, how many first team players are you actually going to play in this game? Because in my opinion, Harry, I think Arsenal are going to maybe play 2 or none. That's most likely what's going to happen. It's going to be all rotation. The whole team might get rotated. What about yourselves?
Well, we haven't got. They're all first teamers at our place, mate. Bielsa's notorious for having a small squad, so they're all in and around it. Really, to be fair, I think, like I said, Creswell, Somerville, Geldar, just off the top of my head, they would be the 3 that are under 23s. I think the rest will be made up with so you're talking, what's that? My maths ain't great. 8? I was going to say 9 then. No, that's 12. Yeah, 8. Sorry. I remember that 8, mate.
That's embarrassing, Joe.
8 changes. So is that 8 changes or 8 first teamers?
8 first teamers. I don't think you'll see many changes, mate, because we don't have a big enough squad anyway. And then also factor in the fact that Bamford, Ayling, Raphinha, Koch, they're all out anyway. Firpo out. Yeah. So there's 5 players who would be considered first teamers out anyway. I think Kalvin plays.
I think he's definitely going to play. He needs to be out.
Yeah, Kalvin didn't play on the weekend because Bielsa said he's had 3 weeks out and he's not had enough time to get up to speed. So I think he'll see the Carabao Cup as a perfect time to get him some match sharpness ahead of Norwich at the weekend. So I think Kalvin plays, which again is massive in this game.
Yeah,
I think we should talk about Kalvin while we're here. Harry, we did a lot of transfer stuff, and we always talk about midfielders that we would love to have. Kalvin
no,
Phillips,
you're not having him.
You're not taking him. but let's have this conversation. This is the kind of midfielder you want in your team. A guy who's a leader, a guy who can do all sorts of things, attacking, defensively. I think Kalvin Phillips, one of the best midfielders, and he showed in the Euros. Harry, what do you think about him as a not a rival, but like as a non-Leeds fan, as an Arsenal fan? What do you think about him?
Yeah, listen, I think he's brilliant. I think there are maybe a few question marks of his overall quality in terms of sometimes when you're at a smaller club, you have players who do well and people say, oh, well, he's at Leeds, he's going to look good, or he's shining out at Leeds. But even at international level, he was brilliant. He kept Henderson on the bench because usually, managers would just go with experience. And even though Henderson was coming back from an injury, a lot of managers would say, oh, no, I need to bring Henderson in. But Phillips and Rice were wonderful. Phillips is an incredible player. Like he's brilliant. And sometimes, it's interesting because he's 25 years old, so he's not young, but he's young in terms of, how much we've seen of him in the Premier League. He's only his second or second season. So it just shows you that people's journeys can be a little bit different, and he's hitting his peak, not peak, but he's now getting his props at 24, 25. So it's been a slow burner, but a couple of years in the Championship have obviously done him really, really good. I think he's a class act, and he seems like a really nice guy as well. He seems to carry himself really, really well. So yeah, fair play to Leeds for kind of creating this great player. But I'm sure in the summer it's going to be a toss up between Declan Rice and Phillips, who the likes of Chelsea and Man City will be going in for. So come summer, I imagine he'll have some huge suitors. But yeah, great player.
Yeah, that's the next like English guy. Like Declan Rice and him are the next Jack Grealish type transfer out of because of course if the main clubs come in for the player, his head might be turned, even though he's Leeds through and through. You guys know it's going to be very difficult to hold on to Kalvin Phillips because of how good of a quality player he is.
Well, if we make it into the top half of the table by the end of the season, you don't know what's going to happen, but he doesn't want to leave Leeds. But you never know. You don't know.
I think the club are being they're not under any illusions, and I think they're protecting their asset. There's talk of a new deal coming around Christmas time. We know why that is. That's all about protecting that asset, because I think for me as a Leeds United fan, I can accept that this guy should be playing Champions League football. You can't play the majority of games for England on the route to a European, final and do so well against top level operators and then be expected, season after season to not be in Europe, because he'll be going away with England and seeing some of the players that aren't maybe up to his standards playing, top top European football. So I think that's the next step.
He doesn't go, but if he goes,
well, I think for me, Raphinha. This is just my opinion now. Raphinha goes in the summer because this is just my opinion. It's too big money to turn down. I think we get another season out of Kalvin because I don't think the clubs that will be in for him are ready yet. They still have players at their disposal. They don't need to quite yet need to make that move. Whereas in another season's time, you might find that a Man City or a Liverpool, maybe if Henderson moves, you know what I mean? They might look at it.
Joe, good thing you mentioned him because I want to speak about Raphinha. I don't know if you remember this, but when we had our last conversation, you said Raphinha is better than Pepe, categorically. And it's been proven.
You're not going to disagree with that, are you?
No. And it's been proven that you were categorically correct.
Every so often I'm right. Every so often.
Because if you look at the performances that he does for Leeds and for his country, this man is absolute steel. 17 million, was it, or 14 million?
17, yeah. 17.
That's good recruitment, good player. And you know what? We spoke about Richarlison as that guy who's like Brazilian outside of the top 6 that was really good. I think Raphinha is currently the best player outside of the top 6.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's class. He's really, really good. I'm quite jealous of him, to be honest. I think he's a really good player. It just shows you. Where did you sign him from? Was it from Lille as well? No.
Rennes. Yeah. Their recruitment's insane. Their recruitment's insane because they've got that Jeremy Doku now as well. I think they just get these players in, but 17 million
season.
But I think the big thing is obviously he's gone to Brazil, and I think he got two or three assists off the bench, and then he played in his first full start and got 2 goals, and then that just takes it to another stratosphere when you're doing that for Brazil. So he's exceptional, man, honestly.
Yeah, he's literally a one-man attack for you guys at times.
Sometimes, yeah.
Now let's talk about the other side of the comparison. Nicolas Pepe for Arsenal has been struggling, and he's now currently a fringe player. I'm not gonna lie.
How much?
I want to know an impression. I want to know what you guys think as non-Arsenal fans, because I've already spoken to Harry about him just a couple of days ago, and we've voiced our frustrations about how he's been mismanaged or how he's performed himself at times. But where do you guys stand? What do you think? Do you think it's an issue with the player, or is just we don't suit him?
I think for me, you will always find. Obviously, you guys watch him week in, week out, or whenever he gets, games. So I just think for me, it's just the fee. And I know that shouldn't matter, but when you're coming for a fee as high as Nicolas Pepe did, and for him to come into the side and flatter to deceive, really. I always remember, I think he was sent off in Europe, maybe. And
in your game, in the league.
No, but he was sent off before, though, right? He was sent off before, during Europe, a couple of games before. And I remember Arteta maybe saying something in the press, we can't have this. And then he got given an opportunity against Leeds, and then he gets sent off, or have I just made that up?
No, he wasn't getting game time.
Yeah, I remember the games at Ellen Road was like a big opportunity for him to stake his claim, and then obviously he got
and he
sent
reacted
off.
to Alioski, didn't he, and put his nut on him, didn't he? Which was
barely. I mean, I think they stroked each other's foreheads, but it wasn't a headbutt. But I think Pepe is a frustrating one. He's obviously got a lot of ability. I think there was question marks over the man management from Arteta's side. There was question marks over whether he's been given enough of an opportunity. But I know the games we had at the start of the season were really tough. But I think he started the first 5 or 6 games, and he hasn't impressed. And when you've got someone like Xhaka, who might not be as prolific, but his overall game is so much more accomplished, then unfortunately for Pepe, it doesn't look like it's working out. But it's a long season, and if we're struggling away at Leicester with 20 minutes to go, you bring him on. He's the sort of player that can get you a goal. So I don't want to write him off, but 72 million is a lot of money for what he's feeling just like a squad player. That's the disappointing part. And when you compare it to someone like Raphinha, it feels worlds apart. But every transfer is different. It depends what the clubs want to sell him for. It depends how long Pepe had left of his contract at Lille and all these factors. And obviously we paid over the odds, but I hope he can turn around both for our perspective from a playing side and also just to protect the investment. Because if he continues to struggle this season, you get 15, 20 million from him in the summer.
Listen, it's not only Pepe that we have issues with. We also have a certain Lacazette. And if you guys don't know, Lacazette might actually not be eligible to play for this game because he picked up some sort of knock in the last game. A Lacazette that's on the fringes of the Arsenal team, been struggling for form, but recently got the game tying goal, equalizing goal in the last minutes to save us a point against Crystal Palace, and he was incredible the last game against Aston Villa. Winning us a penalty just before halftime. They blew the whistle. There was so much controversy involved. But Lacazette has now stamped his way back into the team. It's almost like we know he's leaving, but a part of us is saying we need him because of African Cup of Nations. A lot of players are leaving. I don't know how many players are leaving for Leeds for the African Cup of Nations, but we have like 4 players. Lacazette's going to have to cover for Aubameyang. Martinelli's going to have to cover for Pepe. Partey has nobody covering for him, basically. We're just going to lose Partey during those times. And then Elneny, who is also a midfielder. We don't have as much players come January after they leave. So it's going to be a tough time. So we need Lacazette to perform. But I want to know, what's your thoughts on Lacazette? And also, he's linked to Newcastle today. So what do you guys think about that?
I think I watched that Villa game, and he was really impressive. I can remember because I remember when he went down, and I remember Jamie Carragher saying about, he's just got cramp, tired, because I remember like saying it to my TV at the time. Do you mean cramp? These are professional footballers, man. He just wants a rest. Do you know what I mean? But no, look, Lacazette, obviously, he's another one that came to Arsenal. I was expecting so much more. And obviously it hasn't quite worked out really. But he's a good player, and like I say, against Villa, I thought he was great. Big shout out to Emilesmithrowe as well. I love him. I think he's great, and obviously
they also
Leeds
would
fans
love him.
Leeds fans love him anyway because he scored the goal that meant we got promoted. He scored the goal against West Brom.
When he was at Huddersfield.
When he was at Huddersfield. But he's an exceptional talent. I really
do you take Lacazette? Would Bielsa love Lacazette, a hardworking striker who does everything?
What's his injury list like?
He's actually not injured much.
We've got enough. Yeah, we've got enough.
We've got enough. We don't need any more.
But the Newcastle makes sense. Sorry, Vic, go on.
No. Carry on. No,
I was saying like the Newcastle move would make sense, wouldn't it? I think.
Yeah, so Newcastle are eyeing a move for Lacazette in January. So they're looking to get Lacazette in January, which makes no sense because Arsenal needs Lacazette in January. If Aubameyang does leave and all these guys are leaving for AFCON, we are going to be left with Eddie Nketiah and Balogun to be our striker. It just doesn't make sense to sell him in January.
Halfway through the season, didn't you? And that nothing ever works out when you take a player from a club halfway through the season. Eddie Nketiah is a perfect example when you took him back when Mikel Arteta came in, and he didn't really perform after that, did he? Joe?
He did. He got 3 goals, and then people started getting gassed. He won us 1 game.
Everybody does.
Yeah. He did all right. Nketiah is one of those players where if you aren't creating, lots and lots of chances, he becomes a little bit kind of just, void, a bit of a ghost because he doesn't have that much to his overall game. But I must say, actually, in the early days of this pre-season, Nketiah seems to have improved, quite a lot of aspects of this game. He looked like a different player in pre-season, just in terms of him like dribbling with the ball and taking players on, which weren't things I'd usually associate with Nketiah. But on Lacazette, I think it's an interesting one because obviously he's 30 years old, contract expires, so there's clearly an element of him trying to prove to himself that he's worth a big money contract. I think if Newcastle come knocking, they can obviously afford to offer him huge amount of money, so that will give him more buying or negotiating power over Arsenal. But it's important that we hold on to him, like you say, because Aubameyang's going to be missing for a few games. It's a bit of a weird one with Lacazette because sometimes you think he's really, really good. Sometimes he has his off days. I think what's funny is as he's got older, you're relying more on his off the ball work, his maturity, his hold up play, his link up play, as opposed to goals. He's just becoming more of this all round player. And 3-4 years ago, if you said to me, Lacazette will be starting like behind the strike or as a number 10, you would have laughed. But against Villa, he was sitting on Douglas Luiz, making it impossible for Villa to play out, which meant we could push up, which meant territorially we kind of won the game. So if Lacazette carries that on, the temptation will be to offer him a new improved deal. But you got to be careful, because we've seen, when these players get over 30 and you give them that one big final contract, it doesn't always work well. We've seen it with Aubameyang. He struggled last year after a new contract. So it's really, really dangerous. I think Arteta's really scared of making that mistake. We resisted the temptation of extending David Luiz again. So I think if Lacazette maintains this form to a high level, I think that might convince Arteta. But in the same token, if Newcastle come and offer him like a ridiculous amount of money a week, there's no point us trying to get near that to keep him. Then you just have to cut your losses and just say, well, go to Newcastle.
I want to just give them
You guys should get Tammy, You guys should get Tammy.
Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah. We spoke about that in the summer. A lot of Arsenal fans weren't for it.
No one wanted
Unfortunately, Chelsea, Chelsea can do this. They can get rid of a player and know if he comes good, they can just sign him back. And I think that's what they've done essentially. I would have had him at Arsenal for sure.
Would you take Pepe at Leeds?
No, thank you.
Would you take Lacazette?
I think with Pepe and Lacazette, I think it's more of the management relationship that goes on with them too, because it's like a lot of players. I remember was it beginning of the season or last season? Your players were just not getting on with your manager at all, and I think that's what's going on with your team. Some of them
there's a lot of big time Charlies, and I don't think you didn't get away with that at Leeds United. I don't think they. I'd take Ben White back.
I would as well.
Emile Smithrowe.
Talk to us about Ben White, because Joe,
He's
talk to us about Ben White, because a lot of Arsenal fans don't like the fact that we spent that money on Ben White, and they've seen it as a waste of money because we have Saliba. And if you guys don't know, Saliba pocketed Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe yesterday, and that's all everyone's talking about. Even though
there's a reason, though. There's a reason. This is what I get it, right? I think Saliba's having a good season, though. But I listen to a lot of Arsenal fans doing these sort of stuff, and everyone keeps saying Saliba. But there's got to be a reason why he's not at the club. Say it for Arteta or whatever, but I think Arsenal fans, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, Arteta's going nowhere. So if Saliba, if it's not going to happen, I just don't see it. Maybe it'll be. Maybe next season he finally gets that opportunity. But for me, Ben White, he will be at the back of that English defence for years to come. He will play internationally. I really, really rate Ben White. I know he's had a tough start to his Arsenal career, and maybe there's that thing of, he's coming from Brighton, But look, let's if you take a step back, look at.
We developed him.
But Pepe is the perfect example of overpaying for a player. But then again, 50 million is still a lot. It is. Wow, yeah. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if he was called Ben White Dinio, like everyone would be happy. But because it's Ben White from Brighton, that's the vibe I got. But he's actually coming now. And performing well, is he not? Like some of his ball carries and out from defence, I even seems a clip. And the boy can ping a pass, man.
Spot on.
No, definitely can. There's some people saying, are you still hardcore Xhaka guy, Harry?
Always. My love and affinity for Granit Xhaka will remain for as long as possible. But Lukonga's doing well. Lukonga played well against Villa, so it's all good.
There you go. Would you take El Neni for Kalvin Phillips and 12 pints of brown, 12 pounds and brown
and a bowl of brown sauce?
If it's HP, maybe we can talk. Only if it's HP though.
Yeah.
No daddies.
Okay. You touched on Arteta, but let's talk about your manager, Bielsa. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. A lot of people are saying Bielsa ball and everything else, it cannot sustain if it doesn't get the investment that he needs to maintain the level.
It's not the investment that he wants.
This year, you guys spent the money. Have you seen an adequate improvement in your squad?
Not yet, because we've had our key players out, and we need to see them link up as a team in general. You can't watch how Daniel James is going to improve without having them people there that are going to help him. He trains with them every day, So I don't know. I think after the players come back, I think you're going to see a lot from him. I mean, Llorente's just come back from injury, and he's one outstanding player. I mean, I reckon if he can stay injury free, he's going to be one of the best players in the squad. But once the players come back from injury, you'll definitely see. We're definitely climbing up that league in the next couple of months. I agree.
I agree. I think, do you know what? What happens is with Bielsa, everyone has this like hipster vibe around him. Like, oh, if you like Bielsa, you're a hipster. So as soon as stuff starts going well, everyone starts saying, oh, I thought you were the best manager. I thought he was the best thing since sliced bread. Me and you have a friendy gal that was saying, I thought Bielsa was quite good, a friend of ours, and I felt like I feel like I have to defend Bielsa with my honour, because it runs deeper than winning trophies and that. And I know for an outsider looking in might go, what is this guy on about? But what Bielsa's done to the football club, to the city, to everything surrounding Leeds United. Listen, this club was going nowhere. And then he's come in and transformed it and brought us back to the Premier League. And I said on Twitter, even after we were, after the Southampton loss, which was the worst performance we've ever had under Bielsa in 3 seasons, it was bad. I said I will never ask for this man's head, because people in the comments on YouTube were started going, has he took us as far as he can? And I'm like, hang on a minute.
Are you joking?
Yeah, 24 hours ago, people were saying, have you seen the impact he's had on Raphinha? This is 24 hours after the Brazil performance. Everyone's going, look what he's done to this player. And then we lose to Southampton, and this is the reactionary thing. They go, I think he's taken his... Hang on a minute. 24 hours ago, he was the best thing since sliced bread. People just need to calm down. We're only 9 games in. Yes, it's not been great, but it'll turn around and we'll climb up that table, like Vicky said. Top half.
Keep that thought. Keep that thought. 1 second. Guys, big up to everybody watching on Facebook. Come join us on YouTube. I'll be ending the video on YouTube. You can watch the rest of the video. Ending the video on Facebook. You can watch the rest of the video exclusively on YouTube. Thank you, guys. Now let's continue. Big up to you guys for joining. I wanted to continue this manager thing, but before we do that, I had to get this in the video at some point. I don't know if you guys seen my tweets, but I was tweeting about this all day because I absolutely find this amazing. When you have somebody who has multiple talents and that is able to do so many different things, and I think that takes a level of discipline. There's a player in our ranks who's called Nuno Tavares, right? He's come in, Portuguese player. A lot of people wrote him off because in Benfica, they wanted to see the back of him. He's come in already, and he's played well every single game he's played, and he looks like a future good left back for us. And one thing that impressed me is before he ever kicked the ball, he picked up a cello, and he played the cello for and that was his first thing. Do you think these kind of things is a distraction? And also, before we do that, let me just play it. This is actually beautiful. I love this. You think I'm joking? I'm dead serious. It's quite impressive. I'm not gonna lie. People in the comment section calling him dog lover. He kind of reminds me of Alexis Sanchez, because Alexis Sanchez played the piano, and this man plays that. So yeah.
Can I say something? Can I point on something here? Patrick Bamford plays 5 in 4 instruments, is it?
I was just going to say, yeah.
And he plays guitar in training. He can play piano, violin. It's never ever affected him one little bit. So no,
Bamford's a Tory, you see, and Bamford went to private school, so. But no, it's not a distraction. It's a good thing. I'd rather him doing that than be going out doing Grealish things and crashing cars. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest. So,
yeah, but music.
Yeah.
Someone's saying this is useless skill. It doesn't help his footballing ability. You know what?
It's like,
players are allowed to have, things outside of football.
Yeah, exactly. They're allowed lives.
You know what it is? When you're not winning, people like to bring these things up as things that are negative.
Yeah, well,
playing the cello.
I like it. I personally think it's amazing to have additional talent. I just wanted to bring it up. It doesn't really have anything impact on the game. He could play in this game, but I honestly don't think he will. I think he might now be fighting for a starting spot. What do you think, Harry?
No, I wouldn't say he's fighting for a starting spot. I think Kieran Tierney is still our best left back, but I certainly think he's going to help push Kieran Tierney, and he's available to step in. And I mentioned this the other day on another show. Previously, if Kieran Tierney was out, it was Granit Xhaka left back or Kolasinac, and now we've got Tavares who looks competent. So it's a good upgrade in that area. But I'm still a big fan of Kieran Tierney as well.
There you go. Now, since this is a preview of the Carabao Cup game, who did you guys play in the last Carabao Cup game? If you can just remind me.
Oh God, I can't remember. Fulham, yeah. And that was on penalties, which is what I think.
Yeah.
And you won on penalties.
Great penalties throughout, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think last game we played West Brom and then we played Wimbledon before that. Am I correct, Harry?
Yeah, West Brom was like the 6-0, wasn't it? And then Wimbledon after that, yeah.
Yeah. What was the score of the Wimbledon game? I forget now. So long ago.
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember, literally. I don't know. Literally can't remember. 3-0?
Oh, it was 3-0. 3-0.
3-0, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, let's look at it this way. This competition, I honestly feel like either of us lose, we're not going to be that upset.
No, because we're more interested in the league than we are this, but you guys love a cup.
No, but we've never. The League Cup is actually the cup that we have the least of.
Man City Cup, isn't it? Man City win it every year, don't they?
Man City,
they win it every year.
Now.
Yeah, they win it every year, don't they? It's because their squad's massive.
Too big.
Yeah, too big. But do you know what? Do you know what? Right, for me, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
To say we're in a quarter final. I don't know. It's like 2016, the last time we were there. Yeah, I understand the importance of, the league and all that. I do get it, but I think it's important for Leeds United to continue getting positive results, a little bit of continuity. Let's hopefully progress tomorrow, and then look, quarter final, you are where you are. Semi final, trip to Wembley. Drink it in. You never know, do you? You never know.
Harry, from our side, I personally, if we lose, we lose and we keep it moving. It might be a blessing in disguise. If we win, we're on to semi-finals. I want to win every competition I'm in. So I'm stuck in between two positions. Where do you stand?
This is the first time I've seen you like this. You're normally like, yeah, Arsenal are going to beat you.
No, I don't expect us to lose, but I'm just saying if we lose, I'm not going to be too angry. It's not like it's a blessing in disguise because then we don't have the fixture congestion going forward. You get what I'm saying? Every extra game just causes more problems for the team.
Yeah, I think we're in a fortunate position this year, whereas the maximum amount of games we'll be playing is like 43 to 45, whereas previously it's like 65, because of Europa League. So to be honest, I want us to progress because obviously it's a chance to win a cup. But more importantly, I just think it's really important for squad harmony that the likes of Martinelli, Rob Holding, Chambers, Mari, however highly you rate them or lowly you rate them, it's important that these players get their minutes because they're training every day, knowing they're not going to be selected, and you need to give them something to work for, just so they can actually run out and play, step on the grass. So, I want us to progress, but I think it's going to be a really tough game because I think Leeds will be up for it. And sometimes when you're on a bit of a wobbly spell, these are the sort of games that can start your season. I think Leeds will be looking to do that, which is probably why you won't rotate extremely heavily, because you need to get a feel good vibe back, so you get a nice little result, and then you take that into the league. So but I really want us to win because, like I say, there's a lot of players in our squad that need minutes.
I think that's the same with us, really, isn't it? Because we kind of want the young uns to start having a game like this. We always bring the young ones through, don't we, Joe? When it comes to games and stuff, and I think for them to actually gel together in a team in a game like this, I think it's going to do them the world of good. And if we do win, then it's going to take that confidence into Norwich. So I think I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to go through penalties though.
Yeah, I think so.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
Martinelli. Do you guys, Harry, Martinelli starts this game for me.
Yeah, 100%.
100% starts the game for me. Is that somebody you guys concerned about? Because I know everyone sees Martinelli's talent, but he just doesn't get to play enough.
Yeah, of course. I hear Arsenal fans rave about him all the time. Sorry, Vicky, I keep jumping in.
No. I'm just saying.
No. Of course, Martinelli. I'm excited to actually see him against my team as well, you know, if that makes sense, because you hear a lot. I can't say I've seen an awful lot, but I know obviously the way you guys speak about him in the social media world, obviously the kid's talented. So it'll be nice to see him for a full 90 minutes against my team. So because like you say, he doesn't get an awful lot of opportunities in the league, does he, first team wise? So that'd be good. But what I will say in return to that is just look out for Joe Geldart as well, like our next sensation. I just want to say that as well, because I see a lot of Wigan fans getting annoyed. Like, he's not a kid that we've brought through. We bought him for $1 million because they're in administration. He was with them since he was a kid. Big shout out Wigan. And I know it's harsh, but we had our young players nicked when we were in administration for next to nothing.
We were a feeder club at one point.
Yes, exactly. So we've been there. But Joe Geldart, people saying he's the next Rooney. I know, listen, I can't stand Rooney, he's Man United and all that, but maybe it's just because he's a Scouser and he's stocky.
The young Rooney.
1 second.
Yeah.
Rooney's available. Manchester United. You need a new manager.
Yeah,
Rooney's number one guy. Next legend to go to Manchester United. By the way, we got a comment here saying Eagle.
Give it Steve Bruce.
My guy's saying European football doesn't necessarily. Yeah. He's saying, Eagle, God bless. There's no positives for Arsenal being out of Europe. Just Arteta so he can practice his dead tactics and ethos. Arteta out. Vinay, Edu, Cronky, get the F out. Okay. Man loves seeing it out.
Keep a minute's better for us.
Play Martinelli. Everyone's a wonder kid. It shaved my head. Okay. Yeah, true, I don't know if that was pointed to you. Say we want
Jakanji's just Mr. Negative. If he's saying that Geldart's not a wonder kid, then we need to talk. Jakanji, we need to have a chat, mate.
Yeah, no, you.
Okay, guys, time for the predictions. First thing I always do whenever we do predictions, I want you guys to guess. Tell me your predictions, and then let's see who got it right. Because there is a prediction that the bookies are putting out, and I want to see what you guys think the bookies are putting out before you give your personal prediction. So just guess, what do you think the bookies went for?
I'm gonna
go on, Vic.
2-1 Arsenal. I think the bookies are gonna go for, but I'm going 2-2 in a pens.
Okay, what about you, Harry?
Yeah, I think 2-1 is a good bet. I think we'll concede because we're obviously going to rotate quite a lot defensively. But I think hopefully we're at home and that might push us on. I'm going to say 2-1 to us.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
I think the bookies will have said 2-1 Arsenal like Vic, but I'm going 1-1 after 90 minutes. Leeds progress on penalties.
Yeah.
It goes straight to pens, doesn't it? So
okay. So what they've said is Arsenal won 3-1 over Aston Villa on Friday night, keeping their unbeaten streak to now 7 games, right? And they talked about Leeds and how they performed against Fulham, going to penalties. And they're saying this next game, they see Arsenal making a lot of changes, but still having enough to get a 3-1 victory over Leeds. And this gentleman here got it bang on the prediction. So
he's been looking at the bets behind the scenes. That's why he's
no, it's just Mr. Negative. That's standard for him.
I think a draw of penalties is a very sensible shout.
Hey mate, I'll tell you this.
Penalties. I'm not sure who's going to win, but
penalties is
I've seen the predictions have us drawing against Norwich at home. So they're never right.
Who do you think is the players from Arsenal and Leeds, Igal, who are going to score? If it was 2-2, who would you think is going to score?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if Bamford's gonna play. Is Bamford gonna play?
No.
Is Rodrigo gonna play?
I think so.
Yeah.
Rodrigo. I would put my money on Rodrigo to be one of the goal scorers. And if not him, the winger Harris. I really like Harris. I really think Harris is good. But my question is, Rodrigo, is it me or is he just a very smart footballer? Because the way I see him making his decisions in the final third in comparison to other people, I feel like he's technically there. His decision making as good as everybody else.
He's been a bit underwhelming though, right? As a sign, and I think you all hope for more goals.
What would you
say?
He
seems to be more of like a 10 or like a hybrid player rather than an actual goal scorer.
I think he plays better when Raphinha's on the pitch. When Raphinha's on the pitch, him and him, because they're very good friends outside of football as well. And when that goal is scored, what score was it when they were in the purple shirt, Joe? When he just
when they jumped through his legs.
That
was amazing.
they just know each other's play, and he's such a good player when he's on the pitch. So if Raphinha's not on the pitch and he's on it, I reckon, I don't know, but he played brilliantly against Wolves in the last 30 minutes. He was all over.
Well, I think a lot of that's due to the fact that Joe Geldart came on the pitch, and why I say that is because, and why the link up between Raphinha and Rodrigo is good at times, is because they're so much better technically than a lot of the squad. I think Rodrigo, if I'm being totally honest, his level's above. But like you say, Harry, it has been a bit like Barcelona wanted him back, wanted to sign him in January. They inquired about him and we said no. Now I look back and think we should have probably moved him on. But listen, in games he does really well. Yeah, I think we expected a lot more goals. But then again, he's never been prolific. But I think it's the way Bielsa tinkers with him. He's probably a little bit frustrated himself, wanted to be number 9, probably brought in to challenge Bamford. Bamford smashed it. And now he's playing like Harry said, hybrid, high 8, 10, all over.
I think as well, because there's a lot of his teammates out, everything's just got muddled up. I mean, when you were wanting to move Strauch and all these other players, especially with Phillips being out, it is hard on him, you know, especially when we wanted him we needed Raphinha for Southampton, spot on, but we weren't going to play him. Everything's just shifted so differently now, and he's not got a full fit team. So I think maybe after Christmas you're going to see a lot more from him if he doesn't get injured.
Cam, where have you been for like the last 6-7 games? We're like 7 unbeaten. What's with the doom and gloom? We have.
You know where he was after the Brighton game? He came on camera.
Do you know what I mean? Come on.
This is like, Cam's like Jakanji. Jakanji's one of them. They're only there when we're getting beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's never there when we win.
Yeah. It's like Gunner Express too. I haven't seen Gunner Express only after losses. I'm joking. I do see these guys after wins. You know what it is? Twitter Spaces has really gotten a lot of people getting on there ranting. So when they come on YouTube, it's kind of like they're already relaxed. But
they don't get banned as quick on here than they do on Twitter.
But yo, people, do me a favor. Check out Joe's channel. It's in the comment section. We're going to be going there right after. Joe, tell them a little bit about your channel.
Yeah, please do come over. It's heavily Leeds based, of course, but we do a Premier League review and preview show. So the review's on tonight at 8 o'clock. We've got an all-star cast. Gal being one of them. Corey, West Ham fan. We've got Leicester. We've got a Liverpool fan as well. Of course, the first probably 15-20 minutes is just going to be spent laughing at Ollie and Manchester United, but that's what we're all here for. And I'm like 3 people off 7,000 subs, so if you could just pop over and subscribe, that'd be great.
There you
subscribe,
go.
like.
And also, guys, I think Ollie has been pretty much like, it's been official that he's going to be leaving today or tomorrow.
Oh, is it? I thought he's back. No,
this whole thing about him being back is bullshit, because Fabrizio Romano is now already saying that depending on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's situation, Antonio Conte has made it clear that he would never been a fan of joining a club during the season, and he might not want to join the club during the season, but they're heavily linked to Antonio Conte today, and it looks like he might leave. So this whole thing about managers, we know Arteta's not going nowhere. We know Lampard's sacked. Ollie's not going to be sacked. Arteta won the debate. Even though
I must say, I do feel a little bit sorry for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I must say.
Why?
No.
You feel sorry for United?
No. I feel sorry for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because, like, I get that he's out of his depth, but I mean, I'm not sure if anyone watched Harry Maguire yesterday and Luke Shaw. But I mean, they were like, Harry Maguire was just chasing everyone, you know, leaving his back line. You know, and I'm thinking, well, that's certain. The manager's surely not telling him to do that. I mean, some of the Man United players, obviously,
got one there.
Thank you, man. I've seen that. We're now 2 off. Sorry, Harry.
That's right. Some of those United players need to take a lot of responsibility. I'm sure they are. But when you hear about all like the dressing room, you know, don't back Ollie and they're saying certain things, I'm thinking, did you not watch yourself yesterday? Like, you were awful. Like the players, like individually, meant to be world-class players in Shaw and Maguire and you know, and Wan-Bissaka, they were awful. So that's why I feel a little bit.
Man United fans don't want to hear it, but Ronaldo's ruined them. Ronaldo's ruined them.
Ronaldo's going to be the one that's contacting everybody behind the board members. Like, I want him out.
100%. But yo, guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up. Let me just say this: I'm gonna go with a 3-1 win Joe, you've gone for a 2-1.
2-2.
No, 1-1. Leeds win on penalties.
1-1.
2-2. Leeds win on pens.
Harry.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2-2, but Arsenal obviously to win on penalties.
Okay, I'm the only one going for the decisive win. And finally, the last thing I'm gonna say, I almost forgot it, but guys, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. And Joe, I will not be doing a watch along for tomorrow's game, so everyone go check out Joe's channel, check him out, support him. You're going to be doing a watch along for tomorrow's game. I've already seen it on your channel. So go set your reminders for Joe's channel tomorrow. He's going to be doing that. And I'll be back Thursday. No, tomorrow's Tuesday. I'll be back Wednesday with a match reaction and more Arsenal news. So let's go. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, guys. Thank you, Harry, Vic, and Joe.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.